In 2019, after years of fighting, we made history by passing the Reproductive Privacy Act of 2019. And yes, and protecting the right to abortion in Rhode Island. We won because we worked together, mobilized our movement, and raised our voices so that politicians could no longer play politics with our bodies or look the other way. We won because of each of you. You came to the State House, you spoke to your elected officials, you made phone calls and knocked on doors and sent emails and kept going even when it was tough. You kept going until we won. My name is Brittany Fontenot, and I'm here on behalf of Planned Parenthood of Southern New England to say thank you to the elected officials of Rhode Island, to the leadership in the House and Senate for bringing the Reproductive Privacy Act to a vote, and most of all, to say thank you to the thousands and thousands of Rhode Islanders who took actions to defend our basic human right to control our own bodies and our own lives. But our work isn't done yet. Now we need to take that same energy and fight to make sure every person can access safe, legal abortion. Put simply, and as my colleagues have stated, the right to abortion does not mean much if you don't have access to affordable sexual and reproductive health care. Understanding this fact, Senator Bridget Valverde and Representative Liana Cassar, two powerful new voices for reproductive freedom here in Rhode Island, have introduced the Equality in Abortion Coverage Act of 2020. If enacted, this bill would end the discrimination that exists in our laws today by finally removing harmful bans that prevent 300,000 Rhode Island state employees and people who are enrolled in Medicaid from using their insurance to cover abortion. 39 years ago, in 1981, Rhode Island made it even harder for state employees to access their constitutional right to abortion. And it was 44 years ago that Republican Henry Hyde made discrimination the law of our country by prohibiting programs like Medicaid from covering abortion with federal funds, aside from narrow exceptions. His intent was crystal clear. He said, "I would certainly like to prevent, if I could legally, anybody from having an abortion. A rich woman, a middle-class woman, a poor woman. Unfortunately, the only vehicle available is the Medicaid bill." These bans were unjust then, and they're unjust now. And we can no longer let the shameful decisions of politicians from a different era continue to control the bodies and lives of people today. Rhode Island is moving forward, not backward. Now is the time to repeal these harmful bans and to ensure that when people say that we have the right to control our lives, our futures, and our bodies, that truly means everyone, regardless of who you are, where you work, or how much money you make. These, yes, woohoo! These laws can and must be changed. If we want a healthcare system and a political system that truly reflects our values of equity and justice, we must put an end to these bans, which enshrine and reinforce our country's legacy of structures of racism and classism. As a result of these oppressive structures, we know that Medicaid coverage of abortion impacts Black and brown people and low-income people the hardest. This is as much a call for equity in healthcare as it is for racial and economic justice in our country. Working together, we can do our part to answer this call by passing the Equality in Abortion Coverage Act. For those who say that it can't be done in Rhode Island, I say that it can. In fact, just last year, our friends in Maine passed Medicaid coverage of abortion. If Maine can do it, so can Rhode Island. In fact, I'm confident that Rhode Island can join the majority of states that do not tell state employees what health care they can or cannot have. Right now, our ban on state employee coverage means that we stand with states like Mississippi, Texas, and Utah. It is time for Rhode Island to stand with the 16 other states like Maine, states including our neighbors like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New York, that use state funds to ensure that we have fairness and equity in our health care by covering abortion in Medicaid. I know that we will win because of you, the fierce activists and advocates, and because of our bold elected officials, like the ones standing here with us today. We won big last year, and we can do it again. Together, we will keep moving forward. We have the momentum of our movement and the power of our people. And most of all, we are on the right side of history.